How does this thing go? All right. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. Welcome to Thursday Momocon. Getting fit for cosplay. Who's excited?
Woo!
Awesome. Cool. So, want to go ahead and quickly run through a couple of items before we get started. First and foremost, this is a beginner-centric discussion. So, if you are fairly well versed in exercising, you know how to cut properly, etc., probably not going to be as informative for you. Secondly, Kelly.
Oh, yeah, so we're not body shaming here. There may be some.
Yeah?
My blue screen just went off.
No!
The blue screen of death.
Alright, well, while we get the technical issues, I can keep on rolling.
Alright. This is fun.
You know how to text for this thing, right?
I will work on it.
Alright, cool. So, other parts that we want to cover. I am, and neither is Kelly, neither of us are the professionals. I am a enthusiast.
We're not doctors, we're not nutritionists.
Yeah, so if you do have thoughts, concerns, very specific medical information that may cause some of this information to not be as helpful for you, please consult with your specialist about this.
And for a few content warnings, we'll be going over slightly some things like body dysmorphia, mental health and working out. Nothing super extreme, but just to let y'all know. Apparently it's updating.
Give me a second. I have a spare plan.
So while y'all watch that, I'm going to go over kind of the schedule. We're going to start off talking about habit formation, and then we're going to go into some science of weight loss, and then some muscle gain. So both sides of that, and then we'll go into sort of the mental health side of fitness.
Woo!
I'm 7% there.
Alright, well.
It picked today.
It really did. You've been sitting here for 30 minutes. Alright. Alright, we are about to see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
Power of Samsung.
That's why I got this dongle. Now, the real question is, how do I get this over to the other one? Yeah, well. Script. Ooh, yes, there we go.
Uno momento.
Technology.
Do it, baby. Come on.
Technology needs to work out too.
Nope.
Sometimes the rest day picks you if you don't pick the rest day. And that can, also apply to computers.
Oh, mouse. Oh, I've done this before, fortunately. So.
I appreciate it anyway. By the time.
But, alright, one of these is going to win, I assure you.
I'm at 100% there.
Well, good on you.
I do see a mouse in the center of the screen,
Oh, that's okay.
but I don't know if it's gonna move.
No, that's not the mouse I need.
It's a race to see who's.
Who like if one of you guys wins first, so what do you guys get?
Well, she gets to buy me dinner, so.
Oh.
Bank account.
Well, it could mean, but
Okay.
it still
Alright,
means
well,
that you're buying,
I
right?
gotta pull out on this one then.
Wow. I have no experience.
All ages here. All ages.
Until after 8.
What? Oh. No, you picked my phone. It's fine. Use my phone. That is the. Should be Samsung one. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Alright. I'll go ahead and get to the next part of the slide. So, I'm Nigel. I happen to be a cosplay.
Tell us about us.
Yeah. So, I happen to be a cosplayer, much like all of you out there. I have been at the Momocon Muscle Nerds. I have placed in the last 2 years, which is really fun. And my wife here, she also participated about 2 years ago and got second place in the women's division. So, other notable mentions, she's got an awesome Instagram, definitely worth following her. You can plug the HDMI at any point. Upside down.
Don't tell me what's upside down.
Can you tell you what's set up?
So, lastly, questions. If you happen to have them, feel free to raise your hand. I'll be able to pick those up whenever we do have a FAQ at the end that we will definitely be walking through.
Woo!
And we are live again. Thank you, tech support.
It is loading though. Oh, wait, there you go.
We will get past the second slide, I assure you. So, hit that slideshow and we're good to go.
It's struggling. I'm so sorry.
This is because we put awesome gifts and I want everyone to see the awesome gifts we selected.
No, it's not. So
Screw it.
Oh, wait.
I think it's just the internet's catching up.
Good. Then we'll hit slideshow and we'll roll.
There we go.
Hey.
Woo!
Did we miss anything else? Oh yeah, the triggering subject. So yeah, cool. Skip it. So you want to get buff?
We went through who we are.
We did.
Oh, what's your Instagram, by the way?
That's at the end.
One
Oh,
more
okay.
at the end. So main goal for this is we want to give you information. We want to excite you, get you really riled up for wanting to get fit, and then on top of that, give you a strategy, point by point, that you can take home and actually begin your journey. Ultimately, you'll know what you'll need to do, how to do it, and a time frame of how long it will take. So, with that, it's always good to know when you're going on a journey where you are right now. So this is effectively trying to figure out how much you're eating, how much you're exercising, your ins and outs of calories. So to do this, I recommend the first 2 weeks that you just take time to track everything that goes into your mouth. Anything that is caloric, you'll log it, and over 2 weeks, you'll find out exactly how much you're eating, what you're eating, when you're eating. And the two main points that I want you to focus on are the calories and the protein. Both of those are very critical. There are some people that may want to go deeper and being like, how many carbs, how many fats? I assure you, for the time being, does not matter. Protein, calories. Additionally, it'll be very helpful to weigh yourself. This is going to be the metric that will help determine how much your progress is going. And we'll give some numbers later on to back this up. Lastly, if you are over the course of that time period not changing any weight, congratulations, you have found your maintenance calories, because if you're not gaining and you're not losing, you're not doing anything different, then you're burning what you are eating, which is perfect. So now you know where your starting place is. Lastly, you may be interested to know how much body fat you have. It is not strictly necessary, but these are methodologies to kind of figure that out in the case of wanting to maybe get down to, say, a lean six-pack.
I have no idea what mine is, so it is completely optional. But if you are going more of the route of I want 15% body weight, I want XYZ, you can do that.
Yep. So just to give a bit more on myself, back in 2022, I felt that I wanted to get that six-pack. I didn't know how. I had none of this knowledge that was in this wonderful PowerPoint, but I felt like it was time for me to get fit. So here are some shots of my front and my back. Not going to go too deep into it, but that is where I started. Now, we're going to want to ease into this. Getting into a new habit is going to be, it can be difficult. So what you want to do is make easy changes. This could be as simple as swapping out substituting for a leaner meat if you're, say, having tacos, like I did every single week, and still do every single week.
It's Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. Wait, no, today's Thursday. How dare you trick me? But yes, if you were to say go for a leaner piece of meat instead of whatever you currently are using, that is a easy substitution that can decrease your calories and increase your protein. Another idea, Greek yogurt swapping for your sour cream. Again, tacos on my mind.
And as you're starting to, sort of get your first goals and your first steps, I would definitely recommend breaking it up into as small pieces as possible. So if your goal is I want to go to the gym 5 days a week, and I want to lose X number of pounds, and I want to be able to lift X weight. Well, those are all different goals, and going to the gym is a different goal than working out at the gym. I know those sound very interconnected, but you have to have that habit of going, even if you're not doing a lot, before you have the habit of going and doing intensely. Because if you start off trying to do all the things at once, it's not going to work out.
So, better to get a small thing consistently, because consistency is key with this. Speaking of consistency, no diets. We'll get to the why. So, in this discussion, I'm going to try my best to say, instead of using the word diet, I'm going to try to use either nutrition when I'm referring to what you're eating on a regular basis, or on a diet, meaning the caloric deficit that you're deciding to partake. For the nutrition side of this, it's going to be whatever you happen to eat regularly, personal reasons, if you're pescatarian or vegan or what have you. It is your lifestyle. And ideally, what we're going to do over the gradual term is shift your lifestyle to something healthy and something you can maintain. If that means having, I would say, ice cream every night, you can fit that in. But if all you're going to do for a diet is just a crash fad diet, whether it's South Beach keto or any of the others that are out there, if you're on a diet, it means you're going to be off a diet. So you need to be able to plan for that. Now, again, for me, you can use both of these levers. I updated how I was eating for my nutrition, for my daily intakes. Once I got that, I was able to then start focusing on how do I cut, how do I make that caloric deficit.
Yes, and it's important to note that food restriction is not a punishment for any sort of sin, misgiving, whatever, and food indulgence is not a reward. Because that turns it a lot more mental. And like we said, it's a lifestyle that you're going to want to move towards more permanently, for a more permanent, healthy life, rather than I'm gonna punish myself for 6 weeks.
Alright, so assuming now that we've put in some of these small habits, walking a little bit every day right after lunch, or maybe swapping out Coke with Diet Coke, doesn't matter. Now that you've got those habits, it's time to build on top of them. So if you've got a healthy snack and you started walking, great. Maybe add an extra lap around the building, or build on top of that so that maybe you are doing, maybe you're like, all right, maybe I'll wake up and I'll do a handful of push-ups. And now that push-ups has turned into a 10-minute push routine. That maybe turns into a 30-minute push routine. Building over time. It does not all have to be all at once, but habits stack with other habits, and so getting the initial groundwork laid out is perfect for you. All right, science time. Yeah. So when it comes to weight loss and weight gain, it is a really easy mathematical formula. It is calories in versus calories out, which means if you're looking to lose 8 pounds of fat, you're going to be wanting to burn roughly 3,500 calories, which coincidentally is about 500 calories per day in a deficit to get that. Additionally, I've spoken about protein earlier. This is why it's important. If you plan to gain muscle, your ideal target amount of protein is based on the lean body mass that you want to get. So, if I want to get to, or if I am aiming to have 150 pounds of lean body mass on me, between 0.7 and 1.2 grams of protein per pound body weight, that will convert, at least for me, going at 160, is about 120 to 180, 180. Yeah, I don't like math on the fly. I've got a slide later for that. But the point being, it's going to feel like a lot of protein. We're talking 30 grams of protein per meal, 3 to 4 meals a day. Like, it's a sizable amount. It will feel very full.
Also add fiber, please, so that what goes in goes out.
Alright. Also, some notes. You cannot outwork a bad diet. It's why we put in ahead of the science building those habits. Because frankly, your workouts are probably gonna be less than 400 calories burned. Like, do you know how many jumping jacks it would take to go through a bag of Doritos? A lot of jumping jacks. So, it's easier to not eat than it is to eat and then burn.
Or eat differently, because I found that once I hit my protein target, I got a lot less hungry. It is a lot more filling, and I noticed that when I wasn't hitting my protein target, I wasn't actually improving in my weightlifting. And then I started eating protein, and I started improving again.
Wonderful stuff. Additionally, you might feel more energetic from this. By changing up diet pieces, you'll have better micronutrients, better macronutrients, and possibly better energy throughout the day. So a lot of great benefits. Don't want to talk too much about that though. So we're going to break the next two bits into weight loss and weight gain. So for our weight loss expectations, for a normal person, this is going to look at 0.5% to 2% of the person's body weight per week. That is a safe amount to lose. The more weight that you carry, the more that you can lose in one given go. So, for math, oh, I did not put the math up there. Oh, it is on the next slide. Okay, cool. So if you were to cut carbs, I just want to preface, if you decide to go with one of those diets where you're carb conscientious, it will, at least in the first week or two, decrease the amount of water you're retaining, because that's what the carbs will do. They'll be less in there, so it's less infusion in your muscle and less water in those muscles, which means that in that time period, you will lose weight. It's going to be primarily water. But beyond that, you keep consistently with a caloric deficit, you will drop. Plateauing is natural. I talked about the water weight piece. If, say, you eat a bunch of sodium, maybe some yummy fries, doesn't really matter how you get that, but you may retain water a little bit for the day, or it may take a little bit. Hormones can also impact this. And lastly, please don't go for a perpetual cut. It sucks. It plays with you mentally, and you will want to take breaks periodically. So 6 weeks out, 10 weeks out, and then take time. Take roughly 2 months, 2/3 of the time that you were dieting to be on maintenance. So if you diet for 3 months, the next 2 months, do maintenance calories.
And that's only about a 500 calorie deficit when you are cutting. Because if you only eat, say, 500 total calories a day, your body is going to try to retain every last thing it can.
You'll also be more at risk of losing just as much muscle as you would be fat. So if we're going to optimize for losing just fat, it's going to be that 500 calorie mark. All right. Fun part, muscle gaining. This one, unfortunately, doesn't go as fast as the fat. You can, at least in the beginning, expect to gain 1 to 2 pounds of muscle per month as a newbie. So this is the newbie gains. Great stuff. You get a good pump at the gym. You don't even have to do that hard, but you do want to be pushing yourself. You want to be able to feel that you have gone to muscular failure. Anything you want to add on this?
Yes, so a lot of people, when they go to the gym, I see them on the cardio equipment, and cardio is so fantastic for your heart health, for your mental health, honestly, for a lot of things. But I want to see all of y'all in the weight section lift heavy things. It is a totally different type of exercise. You will grow muscle, and even if your goal is not to build muscle, the more muscle mass and tissue you put on your body, the more calories you're going to burn at rest. So you're actually increasing, not only do you have to decrease calories in, you can increase calories out by building more muscle.
More food, aesthetic look, I love it. Good stuff.
In addition to all of the other healthy reasons why you should put on muscle. Like I'm working not really for my hot girl summer body, but for my old lady body so that I can continue living as long as I can and healthy as I can. A lot of people ask when they go to the gym, do we do machines? Do I do the free weight? Do I do body weight? And when you're a beginner, it really does not matter. I prefer machines to start with because it will sort of guide your body into a good form. You're less likely to hurt yourself versus free weights, which you may need to be a little bit more advanced, a little bit more training to do.
Yep. But at the end of the day, your body just recognizes resistance, so apply it. Whether it's body weight, whether it's machines, dumbbells, a squat rack, or a 30-pound cat that you decide to squat with.
Find the weight that you can comfortably do, like 7 to 10 repetitions without stopping, and basically do that until it starts getting easier, and then move your weight up. That's about where you're gonna wanna be.
Add weights, add reps. Any questions on that? We got one over there. What's up?
So as far as calories go,
Mm-hmm.
if your goal is more of a recomp with the weight that you're at, do you recommend counting calories or just working on your protein?
Great question. All right, so recomp, I hadn't quite hit that, but yes. So the idea is if you're trying to gain muscle, stay at the same weight, do I need to be as concerned about the calories? Technically, no. You can continue eating as you have been, so long as it is consistent. But you do want to keep an eye on how much protein you're having, because ideally, at maintenance or a slight caloric surplus is good for building muscle because it will have the extra energy to then recover from when you do the gym stuff. Which, to note, when you exercise, you're actually destroying your muscle a little bit for your body to then pick it back up and make it stronger.
You don't build muscle in the gym, you break it up, and if you're not sleeping, and if you're not eating enough, your body's not gonna actually build that back at all. So sleep, eat protein.
And for beginners, recomps are definitely a thing. You can definitely both gain muscle and lose weight at the same time, or maintain weight and gain muscle.
You might find that the scale goes up when you first start doing resistance training, weightlifting, because your muscles are holding water to repair themselves. So if you see the scale go up like immediately, do not panic.
One more question. What you got?
What do you mean by maintenance?
Maintenance. Sorry, the maintenance calories. That is to say, how much you have been eating to neither lose nor gain weight.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's why you want 2 weeks of just knowing where you're at.
Okay.
And I think for the newbies, it might be helpful to explain what reps and sets are and how that relates to muscle failure.
Fair.
And just like what your maximum is.
Sure. So we can talk, since we don't have a slide for that. Good point. We are. So when it comes to actually doing weight training, a rep is essentially a range of motion, ideally the full range of motion that the muscle is going to want to do. A simple example would be if you are going to be curling something, you may be holding it in your hand and you'll take it from a relaxed state all the way to a fully contracted state and then back down. Doing this in a controlled manner, and ideally your numbers are you're going to want to find a weight or tension that will keep you in where at around 8 to 12 reps of doing full range of motion, you will not be able to physically do any more full range of motion. That is the ideal area for muscle growth. Thank you for pointing that out.
So yeah, one full movement is a rep, and then you do a series of reps, and that is a set, and then you take a small break. And I like to do 3 or 4 sets, but play around and find what works best for you as far as resistance training.
When you're beginning, it may be helpful to do follow-alongs or get a buddy to help you do some of the stuff.
I would also say to know when to do another set, just like wait for your heart rate to just lower a little bit so you don't you're not overworking yourself.
Yeah, there's definitely the cardiovascular aspect of how much rest do you take. If at least in the beginning, give it a couple minutes. You want to be able to at least go up to that 8 again before failing. So that's pretty good. Thank you for the questions.
You guys said that sleeping is necessary for rebuilding muscle after breaking it down and working out. What's the ideal? 6 to 8 hours?
Yeah, so great question. Sleeping to recovery. Yes, sleeping is very important, and the ideal range is, I I would say about 7 to 9, but we've got 5 minutes. That's it. Okay. Well, we're gonna do Q&A still. All right. Well, fun technical difficulties and all that. Yeah. So I'm gonna say, lastly, we're gonna want to set a goal. So figure out what you guys want to do for where you want to be, whether it's you want to gain weight, you want to lose weight, you want to get a 6-pack, you want to be able to join the 1,000 club, which if you don't know what that is, it's being able to bench press, squat, and deadlift up to 1,000 combined pounds.
So,
I'm gonna note it's gonna suck just getting there, but go for
gotta
it.
do my bit.
Do it.
Okay, this is where I live, is exercise and mental health. So I know that a lot of this can cause a lot of mind-body issues. Oh, wait, it's an hour?
It's an
I'm
hour.
so sorry.
Goodness me.
Let me go back.
Yeah, I want to talk about how much it sucks. All right. So sorry about that, folks. So setting a goal. Like I said, I do want you to actually pull out a phone right now and write down what you want to have as your goal. Could be really simple. Maybe it's just figure out. Maybe it's walk 1,000 steps a day. I don't really know. Your goals are your goals, not mine. But there are some points to being specific. Like for me, my plan is to be able to get a planche. It's a high-level calisthenics skill. But for Kelly, it might be.
I don't work well when I've set a very specific number goal. I know everyone's like, oh, set your SMART goals. That typically will make me feel worse. So my goal is general health. Working for my old lady body.
So it may very well be for getting fit for cosplays, so we can become the ultimate warrior. Or doing one of these other skills that you might be seeing here.
Oh, yes.
Yes, one of those skills. Yeah? Yeah, I do, yeah. Well, given I don't have a gym membership, I do actually mostly do calisthenics. Got a few dumbbells at home, try to spruce up my workouts that way, but that's just me. The pathway to getting to your goal is gonna suck, I'll be real honest, it's hard. So in that goal that you wrote down, that I saw a few of you writing down, good on you, write down why you want this, because when it gets hard, you're gonna want to come back to that and say, this is why. And that's kind of where the grit comes in.
Now I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
Because this is something that I have definitely had a lot of issues with. And I do want to start by saying that doing a fitness journey is not, and a lot of people think that it's me against my body. I'm working against this body and I'm trying to force my hand on it. And you're not recognizing that your body is your own ally. So you're not punishing yourself by going to the gym or restricting. You're working with your body and you're saying, oh, I'm not going to do all this so that I can love myself. Because I know I've thought that. You're doing this because you already love yourself and you want to give that to your body. So treat your body like your ally. You're doing this together. It is doing its best, all right? Your body has taken you through every single hardship of your life and you're trying to sell it out and say that it's an enemy. No. Work with it, love it, and self-love. I know how hard that is because I have struggled with this so much. I want to say fake it till you make it. Even that can be very hard. So what I did when I was really at my lowest for self-love was just pretend that your body, if you really struggle with self-love, is like a separate client and you are in a caretaking role. You don't have to Margaret or whoever you're taking care of, but you are going to make sure that Margaret eats her vegetables and Margaret does her walkies. And sometimes if you really have trouble with self-love, that can be a good tool. And then honestly, the more you will find it, like I did. It took me a few years, but sometimes you do have to pretend gamify it, if you will. Working out with depression can be very difficult because you have low energy days. Sometimes every day is a low energy day. And I find that, if I'm in a high energy day, I can go and I can do my reps and my sets and I can feel good and I can actually push myself. But if I have a low energy day, it is very easy to say, I cannot go to the gym and I cannot do my whole plan today. That's not gonna happen. So what I would like y'all to do when you're having these types of days is just move. So what I will do is I will take, a gentle walk on the elliptical or treadmill or outside. And it does not have to be, say, intense. You don't have to put on intense music. You can put on spa music and take a little walk or a guided meditation while you're doing this. As long as your body is sort of moving comfortably through these energies, it will stop remaining stagnant. Where was I going with this?
I was gonna say, I can tag in a little bit on if you are not feeling it at the gym, it is okay.
At home.
Or at home, I know, wherever you happen to be. You can take it a light day. You can do a lighter day of whatever you're doing exercise-wise. So it doesn't.
Frankly, if you go to the gym, going and not doing anything at all is actually better than just skipping it. Even if you don't want to do anything, you can just go walk around and leave. That's allowed. And I recommend for, if you're in a couch rotting, doom scrolling mood, maybe get one of those pedalers that goes under a desk and sit there and couch rot and doom scroll and pedal. Just get something flowing. And I think we already talked about rewards and punishments. It is so important to get away from that mentality. Do not say, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna earn this meal. No, you're not earning anything. You're giving your body what it needs. Anyone wanna ask any questions on this particular subject?
Like you said, with rewards and punishments, because I kind of have that mentality with, because you said your body's your ally, but because there was a time I viewed it as more it's working with me, but it's me, it's stubborn. It doesn't want to do what I want it to do. And you said usually there's some ways to get around that, to kind of have it where your mind and your body work in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've just been having struggles with that, because there's times it feels like my body's just not losing the weight I need to lose, because that's the one thing I'm trying to lose, is just have the weight loss that I don't need, have the weight I need, but then have the room for a little bit of muscle growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't speak as well on this, but I can at least speak my personal journey. When it came to when I wanted to lose weight, there were periods, some weeks where the scale was not moving. I felt demotivated, didn't know what I was doing wrong. And frankly, it is that coming back to consistency of, do I know that I'm in that caloric deficit? Yes. Am I eating the correct foods? Yes. Am I working out regularly? Yes. Then just keep going. It will pass. And then the weight started dropping again. So hopefully that helps with that aspect.
And I will say, rewards and punishments I'm not talking about gamifying it, because that can be a fun thing. I'm talking about going and saying, I'm gonna earn this dinner, I'm gonna earn this cookie. You can still have the cookie, and it's not necessarily a reward. Figure out another reward, basically, is what I'm saying.
You don't have to look at me when you're saying that. Yeah. What you got?
It's also if you're on a diet or something, and you're sticking to it and doing good, and then one day you end up eating just a butt ton of food or something, and you're way above your calorie goal. Don't go, you're like, oh well, I gotta run 5 miles now.
Yeah, don't overcorrect.
Then you're gonna go the next day, you're gonna eat more food, it's gonna go up and down like that, you're not gonna be consistent.
I think this man's a psychic because he knows what the next slide is. So, anyone do horseback riding?
All right.
So, what happens if you do have a day where you go over your calories.
It happens.
Yeah,
Oh my
like,
gosh, it happens.
it happens. Next day's the next start. Like,
Don't try to, if you say, well, I went X number of calories over my maintenance one day, I'm gonna do X number of restrictions. No, just gently guide yourself back to about that 500 deficit, and you will catch up faster than you think.
the main point is you do not want to have a bad day or a bad meal turn into a bad week. You just want to stop it where it was. It happened. We accept that it happened, and then we move on.
Peaks and valleys.
And if you find that this is like more of a consistent thing, I would look at your plan again. Do you have to alter it? Maybe something's not working for you, and that is perfectly fine to make another plan that is better for what you naturally want to do. Because you don't want to have to go, oh, I don't want to do this every day. Make it more of your safe, comfortable space, and you'll be a lot more likely to stick with it.
Yeah.
So maybe you even need a brand new goal, especially if it's been a lot, like maybe you've hopped off for a few months. I think you just need a brand new goal, something to excite you back into it.
Yeah. So, like, if you don't like running, don't run. Go swim.
I don't run.
Bike. Have fun. That's the point. Is have fun with this. All right. So, we've gone through and come out the other side. We've made it to our goal, because I believe in all of you, and even though you may not believe in yourselves, you can believe in me who believes in you.
Woo!
So, but let's say we have made it. We've lost the weight, we've gained the muscle. We can do the cool complex skills, and we can throw plates around like it's nobody's business. What next? Well, if you're on any sort of caloric deficit, you will want to establish your maintenance calories, go for about 2/3 of the time that you were on the diet as on maintenance level, whatever that new maintenance is. It will take a little bit to figure that out. When I got down to what I am currently, it took me 2 weeks to figure out what my actual calories were, and another 2 months to stay at those calories.
And your maintenance is going to change as you change. So if you notice you're eating the same amount of calories and you're not continuing to lose weight, it's because you've gotten smaller. And you need to adjust to a new deficit.
Yep. Also, exercise routines, you may need to make them harder. Like, after a while of running the exact same repetitions, the exact same amount of weights, you got good at it. Now it's time to get better with more weight, more reps. So, but whatever your goal happens to be, it may be you've never done a pull-up in your life and you want to be able to get that one. The steps to get to that one pull-up are going to be tough, but then once you get that one, you can start stacking other pieces. Maybe take less resistance to getting those pull-ups, and maybe you start getting consistently one pull-up, one pull-up, one pull-up, and chain them together. So, just depends. All right, so now we've got fun FAQ as we're rounding out near the end of our piece, and we'll open it up to everyone. Yeah, we got plenty of time this time, yeah. It's all good. So, things that have cropped up since our last panel. One of them was, is too much protein bad for me? And the short answer is no. The longer answer is, if you are relatively healthy in terms of you do not have significant kidney problems, liver problems, and an allergy that will kill you and put you bedridden for weeks, like, there's going to be, in most worlds, the protein amount of that 0.7 to 1.2, you will not have any health problems. You'll probably feel better.
What about protein powder versus meat versus beans?
That's a great question. So, protein powder is fantastic. It may taste, some of them may taste really bad, but protein powder in general is a really convenient way to get those extra grams of protein.
Especially if you're vegetarian.
Yes. But in
Look
general,
at how it's made, but yes.
But in general, protein is protein. So your fish, your shrimp, your burgers, steak, chicken, turkey.
I
all
have
the
to
other
really water my protein powder down because I do not like the taste. Or I'll put it in coffee.
I put it in oatmeal.
I was about to say, it really helps to mention don't underestimate the protein in like other sources too, like bread and all that. That can help out a lot.
Oh yeah. So like just as you did your initial caloric I guess, inventory, you'll probably have noticed that the amount of calories that you're eating plus the amount of protein, and then as you're adding up, you're like, well, I'm already getting like 60 grams or maybe 30 grams already in most of my stuff. Now I just have to stack on an extra 30 and we're good to go. So just kind of depends. All right, so we have talked about treadmills, ellipticals, swimming, and all that.
Which is fantastic for your heart and honestly your brain, but I definitely want everyone to get over on the resistance side, especially if like you're a femme presenting person. There's not a lot of us over there. I'm lonely. Come lift weights with me. It's very good for you.
I forgot to mention that about that in the disclaimer, didn't we? Oh. In general, if you're planning on losing weight, cardio is going to be good for your heart, and it can burn some extra calories, but it does not need to be your primary mechanism of losing weight. It's gonna be, abs are made in the kitchen, not the gym. All right, so what about, you hear people saying, all right, I no longer eat any cake, I don't eat cookies, I don't eat ice cream, nothing. I can assure you that they're missing out on wonderful things in life. Even on a diet, even when I was in a caloric deficit, I still ate cookies, ice cream. There's protein ice cream out there, by the way. 30 grams of protein, 400 something calories, phenomenal
You ate a
stuff.
tub for dinner.
Only 3 times.
Only.
So, any case, you do not need to be restrictive, but you do need to be mindful. So you cannot eat a full pizza, but you can at least have some pizza. So it's all about moderation and recognizing what makes it worthwhile to you. Like for me, I don't necessarily eat that many chips anymore because just not that filling for how much calorie they give me. However, I have a massive sweet tooth, so I make room for it.
I'm the opposite.
Yes. Works out really well for the pantry. Okay, so we also got asked, are there any particular diet methodologies, those ketos or South Beaches or what have you, that you would recommend? And frankly, the best diet is the diet you can stick to. Whatever makes you feel good and you're able to be consistent with. Yes?
I know this one gentleman that works at the gym. I see him once in a while, like usually once a week.
Mhm.
I try to go twice a week when I can.
Yep.
Go hard. No, he's a martial artist.
Yep.
The one thing he does tell me that he's done is he does fasting.
Intermittent fasting, that's a good one, wasn't on the board. I frankly don't have any issues with that. When you eat does not matter. That doesn't matter the time or how many meals you eat, it is purely calories in, calories out. Now, what might be convenient for you is not convenient for others. I myself do not wish to do intermittent
I
fasting.
don't wish for you to do that either.
I get hangry very fast, so I typically eat 3 to 4 meals in a day.
And I have blood sugar issues, so it just depends on your specific body.
What you got?
Does consistent eating times affect it?
Not typically. Like, if we're talking at an advanced level, there are some optimizations that can be made. At a beginner level, it does not matter. Same idea with the protein intake. It does not matter if you eat a whole night, if you eat 90 grams of protein in one meal. Might be a bit tough of a meal, but what we got back there?
Is there a big problem with protein is breaded, like, chicken fingers and stuff like that?
Honestly, no. Like, some people might be against the idea of having preservatives or whatnot, but from am I able to lose weight? Yes, I think I ate Zaxby's every other week while on a diet. Like, it's a
Protein
thing.
is protein. You just have to watch out for the secret higher calories.
Yeah. So, what we got?
What kind of supplements would you recommend for just cutting weight or even just gaining weight?
Supplements, great question. All right, so I'm going to start with my own opinion. I personally don't find that protein powder is a supplement more than it is just a alternate option for protein. I could very much just eat another chicken breast out of my fridge, but I like to blend it. So, as far as supplements, vitamins, making sure you get your micronutrients, that does help. So technically speaking, you can lose weight strictly eating protein powder, cubed sugar, and olive oil. Would not recommend. Would prefer to have a fully encompassed nutritional plan, something that involves veggies, fruits, pretty much all the fun walks of life of food. I'm a true omnivore. Good question though. Did I answer that fully? Oh, other supplements, sorry. Personally, I also take creatine. It may not blend well with your body, but for those that are wanting to get a bit more edge, and this is usually for the intermediate to advanced lifters, creatine is a really good supplement that has pretty much no downside to taking. There are some people that have issues with their stomachs, so finding the right one for you may make sense. There's a couple of varieties, but for beginners, honestly, protein. That's going to be the one thing that you're going to want to focus on. Hopefully that answered your question. You have one too? My preferred creatine? Oh, let's see. I follow a YouTuber called Jeff Cavalier. He does Athlete X. Pretty much it is a athletes focused YouTube channel, has a lot of great tips where I got a lot of this information. He happens to have his own brand of supplements, and I used to buy the protein from him, but I went and just bought regular Kroger brand. And at this juncture, I buy the creatine from him, but that's about it. Again, you can find your own vendors whom you might trust. That's just me personally. Good question though. Anyone else? Cool. Let's see, we did, training.
We haven't really talked about routines. I'm just like, oh, go, work out. And you're like, okay, what do you want me to do? I don't understand. So what I like to do is called a push-pull leg, where I will work out my push muscles, like, push-ups, dips, your triceps one day, the next day, whole day, your biceps, your back, and then the third day, your legs. So that allows you to cycle a lot better. I prefer that one, but definitely, look online, find different workout routines that you, like to do, because you will do it if you like to do it.
Yep, you may like an upper-lower split. You may enjoy push-pull legs. That's what I prefer as well. You may enjoy doing maybe 3 full body workouts where you work everything in one session and call it a good day, and then take 2 days off. Or you may do a small load every day of various things.
That's what I prefer.
So, to each their own.
Find what you prefer as far as motivation while you're training. Play with your music, play with your podcast. Some days you may want to listen to relaxing things. Sometimes you might want to. I found out it's really good for me to only listen to political news while I'm working out. It helps with my mental health by the doom scrolling, and it helps me actually live more because I'm angry.
Meanwhile, I'm just listening to anime intros because those things are fire.
Woo!
Yeah. Sanatsu, I saw you got your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a place you like to look in particular for workouts. I know you said push-pull leg, but are there particular sites that you enjoy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually got started, this whole thing got started because of YouTube. Like, I was like, I should probably do some workouts, but I don't know what to do. Oh, I know, I'll do a follow along. And I ended up doing a 10-minute push-up follow along, which it gave over the course of 10 minutes. We did a handful of push-ups. I was cranking out maybe three for 10 seconds and then 20-second rest for the full 10 minutes. And that eventually graduated into me following some awesome calisthenics people. Chris Heria is phenomenal. If anyone knows him, he does some insane moves that I would love to be able to do myself. But YouTube for me was the ideal. If you happen to find maybe someone on Instagram or maybe some TikTok items, feel free to do so. I think that's a great way to go, and perhaps maybe just finding a friend that also does workouts and figuring it out. I see you got there. What's up?
How do you recover after illness or injury?
Ooh, illness and injury recovery. Great question.
Yeah, so definitely ease into it. Don't just like hop in. I think we all know that, but I definitely have had injuries on my leg, on my hip, and what I do is I typically bring down the weight and maybe do more repetitions of a lower weight so that you're gently getting your body back into healing. And take more rest days on that too, definitely.
Recovery is the king on that. In order to lift your best, you need to rest at your best. Yeah. So if you are feeling ill, sleep.
Sleep.
Hydration as well. big one on that. What we got?
Yes, so a bit of an odd question, but are there any like recommended types of exercise for someone who wants to build chest that suffers from pectus estivae?
I don't think I can give you a good answer on that one since I am not clinically trained. So if you happen to go to say a physical therapist, they may recommend very specific movements. But for those on a whole who are trying to do a movement and it doesn't quite feel right, there are several variations to what you might be trying to do that will hit the same muscles. So for instance, if you feel like push-ups is not going to be your strong suit, but you can do a dip just fine. Maybe you just focus on dips, or probably the easiest one are legs. So maybe squatting is really weird or scary. You don't necessarily want to do that. Lunges, you can do RDLs, you can do
What's an RDL?
a Romanian deadlift, sorry. Long story short, if you feel that you can't do a particular movement, try finding a variation online that can target a similar type of area. So
yeah, I will say that we talked about full range of motion. It is okay to do a movement in a partial range of motion, particularly if you have been injured.
Yep.
You don't have to go down all the way on a squat if you just had a leg injury.
Did we answer your question fully? Forgot to ask. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? All right, I say these two, so you go.
Let's say after a 12-hour shift, which I do a lot, and I go to the gym at 8 and 9, or 9, but then I go home and they say it's best not to eat late. What would you recommend?
In my opinion, it would be exercise, eat, stay up a little bit, and to let it digest initially, and then go to sleep. That's just my opinion on the matter. Again, not a trained person for that answer, unfortunately.
Yeah. What is your opinion on targeting a specific area? Because I know my area that I want to target is my stomach. I want to be a little bit flatter. So.
Great. Okay, so that's a really good myth to bust. Is it possible to spot reduce fat? No. Short answer is no. Your body will get to pick where it loses fat, and that is strictly genetic. So for me, I held actually a good bit on my stomach and my back, and while I was trying to get a six-pack, I leaned out my back like nobody's business. And I couldn't see it was the worst part. So I'm like, where's all the fat going? It was off the back. So the short answer is if you're trying to lose weight to a particular area, it's going to happen just as your body loses weight normally. If you're trying to train for a very specific muscle to grow, yes, target in your exercises. In fact, I would recommend you focus it first. So if you're trying to bulk up your shoulders here, that is going to be the first exercise you work with. It's going to be its freshest. It's going to be it can do the most work. And what you want to do is challenge it. So for instance, I am having to do planche routine practice to get up to a planche. So I am practicing planche 3 times a week. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. So
awesome.
You're basically like trying to blanket everything, not try to target something specifically.
For weight loss.
For weight loss.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Ma'am in the pink.
So kind of a general question. I've heard that it was like a myth that cardio will kill your gains.
Ooh. I love the phrasing there. So cardio killing your gains. All right. To some degree, yes, and to other degrees, no. The nuance is that if you are doing cardio first, you will not have as much physical output because your muscles are already going to be fatigued. There's also going to be systemic fatigue from having done some sort of stuff.
And on cardio.
Yeah. So ideally, if you are going to add cardio to your workout already, you should put it at the end. But it is not going to kill your gains necessarily. If you are going maybe on marathon running after doing an hour-long workout, yeah, your body's not going to be able to recover. But if we're talking like 30 minutes on elliptical after 20 minutes of working out, not going to be an issue for you guys. Hopefully that answers your question. Awesome. I think I saw another hand over to the left. All right.
Yeah. So I have to lift my dad up sometimes. He's handicapped. So what exercise would you recommend to be able to lift him up?
All right, for that specifically, it sounds like you're gonna be wanting to work the posterior chain, as to say the hamstrings up through the back. So the king of movements for that is deadlifting. That being said, you may want to find variations that are slightly different than that to work your way up and strengthen the back muscles, lower, and the glutes and hamstrings. I think I saw your hand.
Yes.
Go for it.
I was wondering if you could like reiterate the part about I guess your nutrition and like how that sort of causes the weight loss. Like, so it's like I should sort of chronicle what I eat, like the calories and the protein, and then like how should I like keep it consistent? Should I just like plan out meals or something?
Meal prep is very helpful for when it comes to making sure that you are consistent with both your protein and caloric goals. If you are not great at making it yourself, there are a variety of third-party vendors that help. We happen to use Factor just because it's convenient. It can be pricey, so then you may end up making food ahead of time. Just kind of depends. Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, yeah, so just finding what sort of plan works best, and then just improving that over time, and then that could
Exactly. So as we started at the beginning, we want to make sure that the change is not drastic. We want to do gradual changes. So that may be changing out your 80-20 beef for maybe a 93-7 beef, or maybe transitioning over to turkey for the same percentage, or maybe instead of maybe doing fried food twice a week, you do a fried food once a week and swap it with maybe grilled instead, like gradual. And then over time, that becomes your new normal for nutrition. At least initially, you may find that you lose weight simply by substituting out some calorically dense foods for filling foods that are less calorically dense. So,
yeah, I have more of a comment for the person asking about picking up their toddler. Picking people up is really hard because of body mechanics. I would recommend, if you know any nurses, ask them how to pick people up, because you can actually like position someone. So either like nurses or EMT people could like give you advice on techniques.
this is great because again, I'm more of a tech person. Ignore the blue screen of death. All right, so I get to see you, and you. That'll be the order. So where do you go?
I was gonna ask about like, what would your advice be for like breaking through a plateau? Because that's kind of the main thing I've struggled with for the past while.
That's fair. Okay, so it depends on the type of plateau. Can you elaborate?
It's more so just like weight is the biggest one. It's like I've kind of been at like a maintaining of weight, and I'm still trying to do exercise as much as I can. Some health issues have kind of caused some roadblocks on that, but it's mainly along the lines of I still, eat what I, feel is at the very least a bit of a caloric deficit. And then I do, working out at least 3 times a week.
So from what happens when I'm seeing a plateau, what should I do? And you've been plateauing for a bit in terms of weight loss, yes? Okay, so one might be to, I guess in that instance, and I've been in that instance once before, I started increasing the amount I walked. Walking is a wonderful secret weapon here. If you're currently getting maybe 3,000 to 6,000 steps a day, good on you. If you can try to increase that up to 10,000, that's even better. But frankly, any additional movement that you can do throughout the day, that does naturally burn additional calories. Walking is great for that because it is low impact. So you don't have to be doing 30 minutes of a treadmill of running your heart out. You just walk around like you normally do. Take an extra lap around the grocery store. Like, small things add up over time. And as far as the plateau, you may try dropping down your calories again by maybe another 100 or maybe 200 to see if that changes anything. If it does, great, you keep on that. If it doesn't, maybe a little bit more, or possibly increase the amount of activity you're doing. Great question. All right, so I see you.
Just wondering about a good way to actually track your calories. There's a lot of good free apps out there, even on your phone, you can download, like Lose It or My Calorie Counter or something like that.
MyFitnessPal is another great one. Yeah.
You don't even have to meal prep or anything like that, but you can. That's a good way to do it. But what you got from Zach's piece, and they'll count the calories for you. And then for him over there, talking about looking up his dad or whatever, my job is basically lifting and moving and watching people. So there's a lot of good exercises to specialize at, like you said, deadlifts, but there's different variations. So instead of doing a bar next to the ground, take the bar in your hands, because when you're lifting someone, you're gonna have your arms underneath their armpits like this usually. So getting the bar right here and training how to lift like that instead of from the ground, a really good way to train that and get better at that.
Alright. One more question, because we are at time, so I want to make sure I get the outros right, so go for it.
So I do have a question.
Yep.
Just to piggyback on what you just said, your response to those that lie, we are similar motion, actually pulling under the bar, can you just keep the bar at mid level, like in the top of the first bar? I mean, it's basically a front squat, so a lot of you able to hold under there. My question for you specifically, I don't have trouble gaining mass, especially muscle. But I think it would be easy to save my life, man. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to get that from crop tops.
You know, somewhat is actually genetic to help on that. So I myself could never look like The Rock. So you play to your strengths, and honestly, I think that's how we also end up cosplaying. Is that I find characters that seem to fit my build really well. I do a Natsu. I do. Check me out tomorrow at Muscle Nerds. You'll see me in Sun Rocket. Minor plug there. So before you all leave, I want to leave you with the framework that we've talked about, which is figure out where you are, make some small habit changes, stack some more habit changes, figure out what your goal is. You already wrote that down, right? Yeah. All right. And then actually commit to doing it. Based on the timelines that we've given, you know approximately how much weight you can lose, that 0.5 to 2% of body weight per week at a 500 calorie deficit. You know how much protein you need to eat. You know that you can gain 0.5 to 2 pounds of muscle per month, depending on how much you've already lifted. And at this point, go out, go get your goals. Be awesome, go fight, win.
You don't have to go to the gym. That boy doesn't go to a gym. He does it all at home.
Yeah.
So if you are scared about going to the gym, whatever, get some weights, get a pull-up bar, get some basic equipment for your home. You do not have to go to your, I like to go because it has the fun machines.
Cool. And on that note, thank everyone for coming here. There are 2 other panels that I will not be here for, but there are 2 more fitness and creation areas. So, woo! Yeah. Any other questions? You're welcome to come on up. Thank you for being here.